Hey you, welcome back. Ugh, sorry I'm not so presentable. I went out to a restaurant and I got food poisoning. Can you believe it? Ugh. Let me tell you all the things you need to avoid at a restaurant if you want to avoid getting food poisoning like me. Before we dish about that, why not subscribe to Bestie and click the notification bell too? Don't forget to watch this video until the end to support us here at Bestie. Okay, so you won't believe it, but I got food poisoning this many times. I know, it's hard to believe. But one positive point is that I have this extensive knowledge on what not to order when you go out to eat. And because I like you, I'm gonna let you know what I know. The first clue is, if the restaurant looks clean. I know greasy spoon places are usually super cheap, and yeah, the food tastes really good when it's cooked with a grill that has been cleaned off properly, but take it from me, it's just not worth it. Last time I ate at one of those places was a few years ago. Me and a few pals went out for breakfast at a place that I haven't seen a mop in years, I'm sure. Anyway, long story short, it didn't end well for any of us. We all got standard meals, but we all got sick that night. The moral of the story is, if you're worried the place might not be totally clean, or you don't see an inspection sign on the display somewhere, you might want to keep walking. Okay, so next thing and this one might be tough, but in some cases, you might want to avoid the buffet. I know, it's a great deal and there's so much to choose from, but, well, let me tell you, there's a few downsides to the tradition. Do you actually know how long that food has been sitting there? When the food is left out too long, it can procure all kinds of unwanted bacteria. If the food is changed about once an hour, or you've seen them change it out for new stuff, then you're probably safe and there's nothing to worry about. Just make sure you do your research about the buffet before you dive in. If they have hot plates under the food, you should be okay too. However, if you're like me, and you don't think about any of this, well, let's just say you're in for one heck of a bad night. There's no amount of unlimited cheese fries that could make me want to eat at a buffet I didn't look into ever again. But that's not the only thing to watch out for. A few months back, I took my partner out on a lovely date, and I was thinking how cool it would be to order a nice steak, bone still in. Yummy. Getting a steak is such a nice treat, especially at a fancy steakhouse or something. But if you're worried about food poisoning, you might want to lay off the cuts of meat with the bone still in them. Trust me, I know they look delicious. There's just something about eating meat off the bone. But listen, when the meat comes with the bone still attached, it's way more susceptible to foodborne illness. When the bone is still attached, it's hard to cook that piece of meat all the way through, and that's where the trouble can begin. Ugh, it's making me ill just thinking about it. Okay, so this next one might shock you, because it seems like it would be really good for you, but it turns out it's one of the more risky options. I already did the hard part for you since I had to find out the hard way. Sprouts. I know. I was shocked too. But sprouts are grown in the same conditions that bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella love, which are warm and damp places. The other issue is that sprouts, more often than not, are served raw or very lightly cooked, which means that none of the harmful bacteria will be killed off. Instead, it will be served on your food, just waiting to make you miserable. Alright, so brunch is a huge thing that people flock to restaurants for. Brunch is delicious. In fact, it's one of my favorite meals to go out for. Dining out for brunch with pals means you can get really creative breakfasts, bottomless mimosas, and probably a guaranteed nap later on. One of the things you need to keep an eye on, though, is those pesky eggs. You remember how your mother used to tell you not to eat raw cookie dough? Yeah, that's because of raw eggs. Same thing in this case. Raw or partially cooked eggs can pose a huge risk when it comes to salmonella. Egg shells can also be something that makes you sick. So it's best to try to source out pasteurized eggs whenever possible. Also, speaking of brunch, you know how you usually get fruit? Well, here's a great reason to avoid the cantaloupe altogether. Cantaloupe is the worst fruit in a fruit salad anyway, right? Give the people what they want! Strawberries, blueberries, and bananas! Anyway, this orange-colored melon has been responsible for over 500 individual reported cases of food poisoning, and 2 deaths have been traced back to the cantaloupe. There's a few reasons why this melon can be so harmful. One is that bacteria can cut through the thick skin of this particular melon, and another is because of that rough skin on the outside. The bacteria can get trapped in there, which can mean bad news on your plate. There's also the fact that cantaloupe grows on the ground and can sit on dirt and fertilizer, which doesn't sound all that appealing. Oh, I don't know about you, but so far brunch is sounding less and less appealing. Sticking to the brunch menu, there's also an issue with juice. I know, yes! Juice can be harmful too, especially if it's pasteurized. Hey, I'm all for eating local or raw if that's your jam, but I want you to know the risks before you go on a full raw diet. There have been dozens of cases of people getting sick because of raw juice or milk. In about a 10-year period, there have been almost 2,000 cases of food poisoning caused by raw juice in North America alone. We're talking apple, coconut, lemon, orange, banana. Really, it seems no fruit is safe. Plus, to make matters worse, a lot of these reported cases were from kids. Kids love juice. It makes sense. Raw juice can carry bacteria in it when it's squeezed. And being cold, like in the fridge, won't actually kill off any of the bad stuff like E. coli or salmonella. Now that I think of it, maybe I should stick to coffee from now on when I'm out brunching. I'm gonna lay one more food on you that you might want to avoid when you're gonna eat out. Yeah, you probably guessed this one was coming. Fast food can be convenient, but it can also be the culprit of some nasty illnesses afterwards, especially if you're ordering the fan favorites. That's because the most popular items on a fast food menu usually means that the folks working will be making a lot of them in advance. It's a bit like when you go to a buffet. The food will probably sit out for a long time, which gives bacteria plenty of time to hitch a ride on your burger and into your gut. It makes it a lot easier for the people working to grab this pre-made food and bag it, hence the name fast food. But really, it's not worth it. So if you get food poisoning, don't panic. It happens to the best of us, and it is really, really common. In America, 1 in 6 people will be diagnosed every year. If you do find yourself in the predicament, like me, here's what you want to do. Obviously, you'll have to go through the motions, which means vomiting, probably diarrhea, Lucky you. This can often cause you to become dehydrated, so try as much as possible to get a few sips of water down during this process. Sport drinks that have a lot of electrolytes are always a great option, and soda, decaffeinated tea, vegetable broth are all things that can help settle your stomach. You can also snack on saltines if you're trying to eat anything. If your sickness continues for any longer than 48 hours, you might want to think about visiting your doctor. If you have serious stomach cramps, presence of blood in your stool, or any other symptoms that seem overly severe, be sure to give that doctor a visit. Have you ever gotten food poisoning? Let us know in the comment section below what foods you avoid to keep yourself from getting this terrible sickness. Enjoyed this video? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Bestie. Wait, what kind of Bestie would we be if we didn't tell you about our other awesome videos? Go ahead, choose the left or the right video and enjoy.